All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast real estate tip. And today I'm here to talk to you about how to 10x your past client sphere of influence repeat referral business. Look, the best in this game, the best realtors, the best team leaders, the best brokerage owners understand and grasp the concept that it is all about LTV. What is LTV? Lifetime value of each customer. The better that we are at increasing the lifetime value of each customer, the more long-term success that we are going to have throughout our real estate careers. So this is really important to grasp, understand. I'm going to do a deep dive into all of this. But before I get into strategies, I just want to cover some things to make sure that you understand why this stuff is so important. Okay, so the first thing is just, again, understanding LTV, lifetime value of each customer. So here's what I want you to think about. And this is the way I think about this in my business and what I work really hard to encourage and get my teammates to be thinking about as well and getting their minds trained when it comes to their real estate business is, okay, let's just say your average commission in your market is $10,000. Okay, well, each customer is not worth then $10,000 to you in your business. If you play this right and you are obsessing over and doing everything that you can to maximize and optimize the LTV, lifetime value of each customer, that customer should be worth at least $70,000 to your overall career through the lifetime of your career. And how do we do that? That is through repeat referral business. So this is having that understanding and looking at this and playing the long game. And look, I get it. I understand that we need business now, and we're going to go after that, and that's really important. But simultaneously, if you want to have long-lasting success and to experience the least amount of resistance long-term, you've got to also, in addition to going after now business, you've got to be playing this long game. You've got to understand this concept of LTV, and not just understand the concept. You got to make sure you're doing a great job at this. Like, just imagine 5 or 10 years from now, if you're coming to the office and getting 5 calls a day, whatever that number is, of hey, we're ready to list our house, can you come meet with us? Oh, hey, we're ready to buy again, can you come meet with us? Right? It's the least amount of resistance and takes the least amount of money to go out there and build up that repeat referral business. These are people that already know you, like you, trust you. They've already had some element of experience with you, whether they're actually a past client, but or just experience with you as a human being, but they already know you, like you, trust you. They're aware of what you do for a living. It's not costing you any money to go out there and redo that business with you. They've already made up their mind that they want to use you. So this is why I say it's the least amount of resistance and the most overall cost effective is to increase this overall LTV, lifetime value of each customer. But in order to do this, you got to be playing the long game. So it's simultaneously playing and again, I get it. We need revenue now. We need business now. So we're going to go out there and have strategies in place to go out there and get that. And we have strategies in place that we can go out there and get, a listing a week or a listing a day, a buyer a week, buyer a day. There's effective strategies. I know I talk about those a lot here on this podcast, but we're going to have those in place and we're going to be executing on those consistently. But simultaneously at the same time, we're always going to be playing the long game. So if we look at some NAR stats, so NAR does a lot of different surveys buyers, sellers, and aggregates a lot of data for us. This is one thing that NAR does do a good job at for us. So when they're going out there and surveying buyers and sellers post-closing after the fact, what they've discovered is that 88% of buyers and sellers said that they love their agent, would utilize their agent again for any future real estate transactions. However, as they follow this along and continue to follow these people and continue to go out there and survey and study this, they found that only 11% of people ever end up actually doing a repeat transaction with their original realtor that helped them. So just let that sink in. 88% said they love their realtor, would utilize them again. Only 11% ever do a repeat transaction. So we start breaking that down. It's like, okay, 90% of realtors end up just chasing that commission check, collecting that commission check, drop the ball completely, don't do a good job at staying in touch with those past clients and getting and maximizing that LTV. So 90% of this industry is not focused. They're not playing the long game. They're not going out there and going after this LTV. Well, it's kind of interesting that essentially we have about a 90% failure rate also in this industry, right? So, you and I are professionals. You and I aren't going to go out there and make this mistake. You and I are going to go out there and do a good job with this. Now, if you are a team leader and brokerage owner that is not in production, all of this also applies to agent recruiting. the team leaders, broker owners, when it comes to agent recruiting, make these same damn mistakes. So you can just replace, I'm going to be focusing on and talking about and using the words buyers and sellers here in this podcast, but just replace the word buyer and seller with agent, right? Because it's all the same process, all the same overall philosophies. All right, so the first thing before I get into overall strategies of how to 10x your overall repeat referral business and your overall with your past clients and sphere of influence, first you got to make sure that you have the strategy in place to be able to follow up with them, because we're going to talk a lot about adopting past clients, and again, ways to go out there and accelerate this, versus just, okay, I've got this client, they become a past client, I'm following up with them, and I make sure I get that repeat referral business. Again, there's a way, let's just say you're doing that, and you're doing a good job with that. There is a way to 10x that, which I'm going to walk you through and break down here on this podcast, but we got to make sure that you are not dropping the ball with your past clients and have that strategy in place that we can adopt these others into this overall strategy. So make sure that you have a very strong past client repeat referral game in place, an overall strategy so you can optimize and maximize on that. So as an example, I get somebody that they're a client, now all of a sudden they become a past client. What am I doing? Well, number one, I'm making sure that we're connected on social media, and I'm following my 4-to-1 posting strategy, where 4 personal posts to 1 business post, right? Because the overall game that we're playing at the highest possible level, the real estate game is this: get people to know you, like you, trust you, be aware of what you do for a living, follow up frequently, and or keep your message in front of them frequently, and your business continues to grow. Your mother will forget that you are a real estate agent. It is our job as real estate professionals is to remind people, like to teach people how to do business with us, teach people how to send us repeat referral business, right? To go out there. We got to teach and train them. Do business with us, send us repeat referral business. We got to stay top of mind. Get them to know us, like us, trust us. At this point, they already have, but we got to always be reminding them that, hey, we're in real estate. Hey, we're in real estate. So, okay, we're going to be connected. For me and my team, we're going to make sure we're connected on Facebook. We're going to be connected on Instagram. We're following our 4-to-1 posting strategy. So then my objective there is, at least several times a week when they're going through their, Facebook or Instagram feed, that they're seeing my stuff and seeing something related to real estate. Not is trying to sell them or resell them. It's just that, hey, raising my hand. Hey, I'm in real estate. Don't forget I'm in real estate. Don't forget I'm in real estate. Right? So that's part of our overall process is connection on social media. Then from there, okay, my past clients, sphere of influence, are going to get an average of 5.5 broadcast emails a month, 5.5 mass emails a month. So I go into my Perfect Storm CRM, whatever CRM that you're using, whether it's Perfect Storm or whatever CRM that you're doing, right? I can send infinite amounts of mass emails in Perfect Storm. So whether I have 90,000 people in there or 2,000 or whatever, I can go out there and, so what am I sending? Okay, I'm sending a Monday motivation message. Nothing to do about real estate. It's just a motivational quote. Wish them a happy Monday. Hope they had a great weekend. I always like to start a week off with words of encouragement. Insert quote, image, whatever. If you are a coaching client of mine or a Perfect Storm client, I already rewrite these for you, put them in there so you can just copy and paste, right? So then from there, I do your 7 core holiday messages, right? So, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Halloween, all those major cores. So they're all getting those. Again, these are nothing real estate related. Now they're coming from my real estate email. They see my real estate signature in there. So it's still planting that seed. But when they're a past client or somebody I'm adopting as a past client or a sphere of influence, right? And I know past clients are a silo of my sphere of influence. But anyway, with that, like I'm not going to bombard them with real estate related shit. Yeah, right. Like, it might be 5, 6, 7 years, before they're looking at selling. So if I'm constantly, if I'm treating them as a lead, okay, they're going to opt out, right? So I'm sending things that are of value that keep that connection going, but aren't in their face about buying or selling. But it's still planting that seed that I'm in real estate. There's just little tactics that you can do. Like as an example, make sure that my email, where it's showing up in that the sender's name. Like instead of just having first and last name, you can put your first name as like Joshua Smith and then your last name is Realtor. So every time that shows up, even if they're hitting that delete button, like I look at my emails, it's like, okay, even if somebody deletes these, I still want them to be a power. When they check that box next to it and hit that trash can, it's still Joshua Smith Realtor, Joshua Smith Realtor, Joshua Smith Realtor, right? Okay, so sending out those. And then from there, I send out a monthly market update report video. That again, it isn't about them selling their house. It's just anybody that's lives in the area, that owns a property, whatever. They're going to be curious of what's going on about the overall market. And I'm not begging them for business at that point. It's just education. So that's 5.5 broadcast emails. Then I go into my Perfect Storm CRM. Once they become a past client, I update their status to past client. I click a button that then auto-populates my next 20 years of my follow-up calls. So it's going to remind me to call them for the next 20 years so I don't forget. So I don't drop the ball on that. And I have found these calls to be the most powerful, the most impactful thing of any type of past client overall follow-up strategy. So like I just say, it's a buyer past client. Okay, it's going to task me. I'm going to go celebrate the close with them. Celebrate that finish line, celebrate that close with them. It's the height of the transaction. I can't stand it when like my agents don't do it, or an agent doesn't do it. Like I'm a believer in you celebrate the height of that transaction. You just got to the finish line. You go out there and you celebrate that win with them, right? Like you got to be there. You were there for the the bads, the uglies, the inspection battles, whatever. Now we're gonna go celebrate the height of that and high-fiving, hugging, right, being there with them. So then from there, okay, I just click a button for the next 20 years, bam, I don't have to think about it. It's going to tell my CRM's going to tell me who I need to call, why I need to call, whatever. So I'm going to have a 7-day post follow-up call, 30-day post follow-up call, and then every 90 days for the next 20 years. So that is an example. I'm not saying that you got to adopt mine. I mean, I recommend it, highly effective, doesn't cost you any money, to go out there and do it. And it's extremely effective, because you get to the point, like the KPI, that I'm looking for, or the numbers that I'm looking for is any of my agents that have been in this business for 5 years, I want to see 50% of their business coming, like if they're doing this right, 50% of their business after that 5-year stint coming from repeat referral business. So if you're doing 100 deals a year, 50 of those are repeat referral business. And then it just continues to snowball and compound from there. All right, so you got to have that in place, a strong past client follow-up protocol in place to go out there and maximize and ensure that they're going to do repeat business with you and send you those referrals. Now, for us, and I'm not going to go this in depth here in this podcast, but for me, that actually starts as soon as they become a client. Like, okay, I know what their goals are. Now I let them know what my goals are. I'm starting to plant those seeds. Again, remember, it's about teaching and training them to do repeat business with us, to also go out there and send us referrals. So I start planting that seed right now of letting them know, hey, I've got clarity on what your goals are. I want to make sure that you understand what my goals are on this transaction. I want to make this such an exceptional experience for you where not only do I meet your goals and your expectations, I want to far exceed those expectations, and here's why. So I'm letting them know that, like, I want you to be a client for life, and I want you to send me everybody that you know. And I want to make this such a great experience where you don't feel like you have to do those things, where you choose to go out of your way and send me that business. And then we have a check-in process. We're always, kind of reminding them and getting that feedback. So we're always planting those seeds again, because it's our job to teach and train people to do that business with us. So then from there, now, hopefully you are doing a good job now that you have your strategy in place and making sure that you are executing on that with your own actual past clients, your own buyers, your own sellers, or if you're recruiting agents, right? Like you're doing a good job, at having that ongoing follow-up, with them. Okay, so then from there, so of course we got to do it with our own clients, right? And our own past clients. But then from there, as I said, like this podcast is about how do we 10x this? How do we accelerate this in addition to, our own past clients? Okay, so this is what I call it, adopting past clients. So how do we go out there? And when I say what I call, I'm sure somebody else came up with that, but it makes sense, right? Like how do I go out there and adopt other past clients? How do I go out there and adopt these past clients? I'm going to go through, several strategies with you. There's more than just these, but I want to go through some strategies so I can start planting those seeds. So then that way you can start thinking through and reflecting of your business, how you can continue to accelerate this. Okay, if we start looking at this, okay, you got all these buyer leads inside your system. Inside your CRM. Hopefully you're using a CRM to keep your follow-up game together. So I go into my Perfect Storm CRM. I'm following up with all these, and whether they're open house leads, whether they're sign calls, whether they're Facebook leads, whether they're Zillow, it doesn't, like insert lead source. We got all of these leads, and you're going to have exponentially more leads than you do clients, then you do under contracts, then you do past clients, right? So we're going to have this abundance of leads that we are always working, that we are always following up with. Well, if you've been in this game long enough and you're doing follow-up, not even if you've been in the game long enough, if you've been in the game even a day, right? And you're following up with enough buyer leads, what is something that you are constantly hearing? Oh, I already bought. Already bought a home, just got a home, already bought a home. You know they didn't utilize you. Okay, well, how can I position myself to adopt that past client? Where most real estate agents and all of your competition, I don't know the exact stat, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere between 95 and 99% is my best guesstimate on this. What do most do in that situation? And ask yourself, what do you do in that situation? Do you get discouraged? Do you just hang up? Oh, well, congratulations, click, mark them as a non-leads, drop that fall. That's what everybody else is out there doing, right? So I want you to reframe this and think about this differently of how do I play the long game with each of these? How do I play that long game? Is there a way for me to adopt that person as a past client, right? So in that example, if somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm talking with them, they're like, oh, we just bought. For me, I flip that into, oh, hey, congratulations. That's so amazing. I'm so excited for you. Tell me about it. What did you end up buying? What did you end up getting? Yeah, right? Like I want to hear about it. I want to hear their excitement. I want to hear about the house. I want to hear about the area. I want to hear all about that. I'm trying to connect with them. And, well, what'd you choose that? Like, what made you choose that area? We got, our kids go to school over here. Oh, that's great. How many kids you got? I'm doing everything I can to develop that rapport, that connection, because what is the overall game? And we're playing the long game here. The overall real estate game is get people to know you, like you, trust you, be aware of what you do for a living, follow up frequently, keep your message in front of them frequently. Your business continues to grow. So before I end that conversation, I'm going to say something like this. Hey, it sounds like you got such an amazing home. And I understand and know that, you're not going to be looking at selling that home, anytime at all now or anytime at all in the near future. Because again, it sounds like you got this amazing home. I understand and get that you're not looking to, go out there and make a move for probably the next 10, 20 years, whatever that, time frame may be. So then from there, because what I want to do here is I want to ask for their permission to be able to stay in touch with them. But I want to plant that seed because I'm going to teach and train them to do business with me. Now, let me take a step back before I go into the script here is remember that we have about a 90% guaranteed chance that their realtor that helped them through that transaction will never follow up with them. They're going to drop the ball because that's what just the vast majority of realtors do in our industry. So when they're, okay, I already bought a house. Okay, I'm going into the connection, developing the rapport. Then as I end that, I ask for their permission. Hey, I'm so happy for you and your family. It sounds like you got a beautiful home. And look, I understand and know that, you're not looking at selling anytime now or the near future. Again, you got this beautiful home that you plan on staying in for a long time. But with that being said, with your permission, I'd like to check in, a few times a year with you, about every few months, see how you're doing, see if there's anything that you need, real estate related or not. Look, I'm not just here to be your realtor. I'm also here to be a resource in any way that I can. Look, maybe you need a landscaper, maybe you need a pool guy, maybe you're looking to get some work done and need a contract or whatever it is, real estate related or not. Like I said, I'm not here just to be a realtor. I'm also here to be a resource any way I can. So, would it be okay with you if I checked in, every few months just to see how you're doing? Right? It's like everybody says yes to that. Because when we break this down, what did I just do there? Okay, I've already established that these aren't going to be sales calls. These are going to be customer service, check-in calls. I've already established that, hey, I'm not, but then, and I know I'm kind of fumbling my words here, but I want to make this point here because this is really important. Of what I did there is I already started planting those seeds. Hey, I'm not just here to be your realtor. I'm also here to be a resource. Not just here to be a realtor, also here to be a resource. Hey, I know that you just got this beautiful home, not looking at planning, selling anytime now or the near future. So happy for you and your family. You guys, I know you guys are going to be here for a long time. Look, I'm not just here to be your realtor, but I'm also here to be a resource in any way that I possibly can. So I've kind of created and teaching and training them that I've already implying that I am now their realtor. Because knowing that their realtor is going to abandon them, and hope, maybe their realtor does a good job with it. And if they do, okay, they're going to get that business going forward as well. Yeah, right? But then from there, they say yes to that because I've already established these aren't sales calls. I'm just here to check in on them, see how they're doing, see how the family's doing, see if they need anything real estate related or not. So then boom, once they say yes to permission with that, then I adopt them. I add them to my past client follow-up protocol where now I'm following up with them every 90 days for the next 20 years. And when I'm doing those check-in calls, it's just repeat, hey, how are you doing? It's always leading with a connection. And I plant that seed of, not just here to be your realtor. So I'm going through my past client scripts with them for that next 90 days. So then bam, when they get to that point where they're thinking about, buying something new, selling in the future, because you never know what that timeline is. Maybe in your area, it's an average of 10 years. But look, they may have a job change. They may decide that they hate the house, right? Like it could be much quicker than that. So it's just the law of averages. But what I'm trying to do here is just not get their repeat business. I'm trying to establish this ongoing, continued relationship with them where they're also sending me this referral business. So that is one way to go out. Like if you just did that, that would probably 5x or plus your overall past client repeat referral game. Okay, so then from there, okay, what about buyers of your listings? So this is one thing that I did during the great financial crisis. So, you had this huge housing market crash. At least in my market, it was like everything for the most part, not everything, but almost everything was an REO or short sale, distressed sale. So you had these neighborhoods where there was just a complete, kind of clean out of people that were living in there. And I started looking at this and assessing this of, I'm going years of just working with all these REOs and distressed sales. I'm like, man, if I don't have a strategic plan, when this thing ends, like I'm not going to have any past client repeat referral business. So I started adopting a past client on those buying my listings. Again, knowing and that understanding that, 90% of the agents that worked with those clients they're just going to collect their commission check, peace out, never talk to them again, never follow up with them again. That's what the vast majority of this industry does. So then from there I was like, okay, I pick out a day during the week. So Thursday evenings, pop over there, knock on their door, have a housewarming gift for them, shake their hand, congratulate them on, their closing, hand them the housewarming gift. And I'd let them know that, hey, my name is Joshua Smith. I'm not sure that if you remember seeing my sign here in the front yard, but as a listing agent on the property, just want to congratulate you to your new home, wanted to bring you a housewarming gift, and I'm connecting, like, okay, that's received very well, obviously. But then from there, I'm just, connecting with them, developing that connection, and then letting them know that, hey, I know this property really well. So if you have any questions, because the bank at that point doesn't, they didn't know anything about the property, but, I did. Now, if you, in this case, if it's a traditional sell, right? Like you can sit there and say, well, hey, I still have a great relationship with the seller. So if you have any questions, I don't know, if you're trying to figure out how the sprinkler box works and you can't figure it out and you get stuck on something and you need to reach out to me where I can go ask the seller about this thing, just let me know. Here's my card. Feel free to reach out. I'm not just here to be your realtor, here to be a resource any way I possibly can. So anything that you need from me, let me know. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to check in, every few months, just see how you're doing, see how everything's going. Look, I understand you just got this beautiful house, not looking to sell anytime now or the near future. So I get that. I understand that. These check-in calls are just to check in on you, see if there's anything that you need. Not just here to be your realtor, here to be your resource in any way I possibly can. Right? So just again, planting those seeds. Okay, then boom, adopt them. Again, everybody says yes to this stuff. Adopting them as a past client. So now this isn't on my list here, but I want to bring it up because I just thought of it. Like if you are a listing agent and you've been doing this long enough, you will probably had those times where the buyer's agent calls you up and says, hey, can you meet my client? When you go pick up your lockbox, can you meet my clients out there and hand them the keys? Now when I hear from other agents or agents on my team, like the first time they get that call, right, they're kind of turned off by it, like, should I go do this? I'm like, hell yes, you should. Right? Like I get excited for those calls. Number one, I get to go celebrate the finish line, the win with their clients that they are now neglecting and dropping the ball to be there, with that clientele. So I get to go out there and celebrate that win. I get to celebrate the high point, so I'm handing them the keys, making, walking to the property with them, high five, and I'm making sure everything's great. If I can bring a closing gift, whether you have a closing gift or not, doesn't matter. But you're able to go out there and celebrate that close with them. Then from there, again, it's, hey, if you need anything, here's my card. Make sure to save my card. If you have any questions about the property, I know the seller really well. I can reach out to them. So if anything comes up, anything you need anything, I'm not just here to be a realtor, here to be a resource any way I possibly can. And again, with your permission, it's the same script. With your permission, would it be okay if I checked in every few months and just see how everything's going, see if you need anything? I know you just got this beautiful home, not looking at selling anytime now or the near future. That's something what these calls are about, just to check in, see if there's any way that I can be a real resource, not just here to be a realtor, here to be a resource in any way I possibly can. So I'm just planting those seeds. Okay, so what about, sellers not looking to go out there and sell right now? Whether you're circle prospecting, calling FSBOs, calling expires, whatever it is, insert whatever it is. Okay, you have established a relationship with them, identify they're not looking at selling right now. Okay, well, hey, I know they're not looking at selling right now, so I can insert that same script. Hey, I know you're not looking to sell right now, no worries at all. Get that, I understand that. I'm not here to just be your realtor, but here to be a resource in any way I can. So with your permission, is it okay if I check in every 90 days just to see how you're doing, see if there's anything related? Again, not here to be a realtor, but resource for life. So I'm just repeating that language, right? So then investors, like this is one of these that we're doing right now very heavily inside my business. So going after investors that are looking to sell, like we're playing offense, going after long-term buy and hold rentals, going after short-term vacation rentals, these investors that we're having conversations with, which ends up being about 92% for us that have no intention of selling at all right now or anytime at all in the near future. Okay, I can transition that into adopting them as a client, past client, where it's, hey, no worries at all. I'm so glad to hear that this property is performing great for you. Just out of curiosity, before I let you go, if I could find you other great real estate investments that perform as good or better than this one, would you have interest in adding additional real estate deals to your real estate portfolio? And if so, would it be okay with you if I emailed you over any great deals that I find? Like any decently sophisticated, savvy investor says yes to that. That's another example of this. Okay, think about open houses. I get so many agents, they're like, oh man, I can't stand open houses. I just get nosy neighbors coming through. I fucking love nosy neighbors, dude. These are human beings that live in the area that you are face to face with right now, that you have a chance to develop that rapport, develop that connection, gather their information, and follow these same strategies to adopt them is, that quote unquote past client, if you will. And when I look at past clients, what is a past client? Our number one lead source. Yeah, right? So, okay, whether you want to call these past clients, calm leads, whatever, well, I'm going to try to identify their expectations, their timelines, during those with my overall conversations and scripting, but I'm going to adopt all of those in. And I have open house, nosy neighbor follow-up campaigns and scripts that we just boom, click a button, put those in place to make sure that we are maximizing and optimizing on those. All right, so those are just some different examples. So what I want you to do is go through and assess your business of how you do your business and what are all the different strategies that you're doing where you can adopt these, these buyers, sellers, agents, whatever. Like same thing on the agent side. Team leaders, broker owners are like, man, I'm talking to all these agents that aren't looking at making a move yet. They're happy where they're at. They love where they're at. They're not looking to make a move. Okay, well, at some point during their career, they're going to make a move, right? So what are we doing? I'm going to adopt those. I'm okay with being in second place. I'm okay with, we know at some point, the average agent makes a move about every 2 years. At some point, they're going to experience a frustration. And not all the times, but what's the percentage of realtors? And I don't know this answer. But the percentage of realtors that never, ever, ever make a move for their whole entire career, I don't know what the exact stat is out there, although I know it's extremely low, right? There's going to come a time where their goals aren't being met, or they've outgrown their current location, or their current company or brokers piss them off. Those are the three primary reasons as to why an agent leaves. I know at some point, typically that is going to happen. I'm just positioning myself to be, second in line. So when they're thinking about making a move, they think about me, and I have an opportunity to go out there and interview and meet with them for the job, right? So the thing that, I want to stress here before we wind down with this podcast is look, so often we are trying to chase the new shiny penny in this industry, the new next trend, and it's so easy to go out there and do those things. Well, and sometimes those things can be, to pay off, but most cases they don't, right? Most of success comes from identifying, understanding the basics, the fundamentals, but just doing those at a more consistent and a better, more optimized, higher level than our competitors. So this is just a quick way of, okay, we're already doing these things. I'm already closing homes. I'm already okay, with my past clients. Okay, let me make sure I'm, not dropping the ball like the other 90% of realtors are out there. Okay, I'm already following up with these buyer leads. Okay, how can I optimize and maximize, by adopting those past clients? This is something we all should be doing. This is just us doing it better, more strategically, more effectively than our competitors. So again, most of success, it's not about doing something different or overall different, right? Not about doing something revolutionary. There's no magic pills that exist out there. There are no secrets out there. It's just about doing things better and more consistent and more optimized than our competitors are out there doing. So this is how you can quickly go out there and 10x your past client repeat referral business. So I hope that you found this helpful. Now, if you are looking for more training, more resources, I highly recommend that you check out gsdmode.com. If you haven't already, I highly recommend that you take my 3-hour online training that's taking place right now. Now, I know 3 hours is a long time, but it will go by fast. I promise you this. Now, this is a webinar right now, a training that I have taking place right now, which is really designed around helping you go out there and grow and expand your business in this changing market. And I promise you, if you register for it and if you show up, you pay attention, and you go out there and do all the 6 fundamental steps I walk you through, it will 100% change your business and life, and it's 100% free. So I highly recommend that. In addition to that, if you are interested on learning more about my personal coaching and mentorship program, which is the most effective real estate business coaching, real estate business building coaching program that exists in the industry. So whether you're an individual agent, team leader, broker owner, but you want to go out there and build a business, you don't want to just have a high-paying job, you want to build an effective, systematic-based business to continue to grow and scale year after year, there's not a better coaching program on the planet than this one, where I give you essentially everything inside my business, everything that's allowed me to sell over 7,000 homes, and go out there and build one of the biggest teams and one of the most successful teams on the planet. I just give you everything. Here's everything, right? Walk you through what to do, how to do it, why to do it, the importance of doing it, step-by-step how to do it, give you everything inside my business, editable format so you can quickly plug and play, everything that's allowed me to go out there and sell over $50 million in GCI, throughout my career, and well over $2 billion of real estate. Just my business just handed over to you. Right? And it's just editable, downloadable, quick, plug and play implementation. Plus you have daily access to me 7 days a week throughout the whole experience. So not only is it the most effective, but I've also figured out a way to make it the most affordable, where regardless whether you're brand new or seasoned or whatever your financial situation is, anybody on this planet can afford this program. It is less than your daily Starbucks budget. So if you want to schedule a call with me personally to learn more about the program, see if it's a fit for you, see if you're a fit for me in the program, you can go to gsdmode.com and you'll see a link there to schedule that. It's a 100% zero pressure. So I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm not going to beg you. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, that's okay. We can still be friends, but you can check that out there as well. All right, you guys, truly appreciate it. Keep crushing it, and we will see you next time. Peace.